Like and subscribe to the channel. Watch the video from beginning to the end. Most importantly, like to subscribe to the channel. So I'm gonna get right into it today. I seen a video from Uncle Lou today. Says Alabama hires an old shoe for DC and an infant for OC. Then he comes out and say that he doesn't blame Alabama fans for running around pretending and acting like they're excited about the hire, because that's what fans do. Well, me personally, it's one of those things that I'm speaking for myself. I'm speaking from this Bama fan. I'm not speaking for everybody else. But it's not pretending to me. See, I look at it different. I look at it from a schematic standpoint. It makes sense what you're trying to do on offensive side of the ball is why you will hire Tommy Rees. It makes sense for what you were trying to implement in players from a defensive coordinator standpoint why you will hire Tommy Rees. So my thing is, no, they wasn't the number one hire. They wasn't the number one hire at all. He said we wasn't running around talking about Tommy Rees or Kevin Steele as a DC or OC at first. No, we weren't. We weren't. We heard a lot of big names. But like I said before, I said this before we even made a hire. It might not be the big name that we hire as the OC or DC. I said this before we even had to hire. My thing is what that is, no, it wasn't a home run hire, but when you have bases loaded, you don't need a home run. All you need is a base hit. All you need is a base hit. That's what I'm gonna say on that. And like I said, my defense for Tommy Rees is, oh, he's a young guy. My defense is Nick Saban likes to run the ball. Nick Saban wants to get back to playing bully ball. Tommy Rees does that. But everybody look at Notre Dame. Notre Dame this, Notre Dame this. Listen, Notre Dame is Notre Dame. Notre Dame this season was playing with backup quarterbacks. Notre Dame, they're just Notre Dame. Let's just be for real. And like I said, from a schematic standpoint, for what Nick Saban wants to do, he might not be that flashy, highlighted dude that everybody be looking for, but it makes sense for what Nick Saban is trying to get back to. He will use tight ends. Nick Saban wants to use the tight ends as blockers, and let's get them open in the pass. Run the ball, it'll open up the play action more. For Kevin Steele, hey, he knows Nick Saban's expectations. He knows expectations from Nick Saban. He has developed a lot of freaking talent at Alabama in the past. First thing everybody want to do is run to Miami. Miami is a dumpster fire. I said it before. Miami is a dumpster fire. God dang it, it ain't that much motivation you can do for kids that just quit on you and just don't have it in their heart. It's not much you can do for it. I even heard from a Miami fan that Kevin Steele was only able to implement 35% of his playbook because the kids wasn't getting what's going on over there. They wasn't getting it. So that's my defense for him. Like I said, I'm speaking for myself. This Alabama fan, not nobody else. I see it makes sense for what Nick Saban is trying to get back to. And yes, for Alabama, you do expect them to hire bigger names, but even some of those bigger names, were they really truly candidates? I know Ryan Grubb actually turned the job down. I know he actually turned the job down, but so what? You move on. So what? Let's be for real. Wasn't nobody talking about Ryan Grubb being the OC possibly being the OC for Alabama until it became a thing. So what? You move on. That's what you do. And like you said, Uncle Lou, it may work out, may not work out. Hey, it's a gamble. You said it's a gamble. It's a gamble with all this stuff we say. All this is an assumption. Yes, as Alabama fans, we do hope it work out. We do hope it work out. But I look at it from a schematic standpoint. That's why it makes sense to Nick Saban. I said it before. Those wasn't my favorite hires. But if you know these guys, you know what they do. You understand why it makes sense for Alabama to want to hire them. And he might have got fired from Clemson. Kevin Steele might have got fired from Clemson. But in 2011, they still won the ACC championship. I'm just saying. It makes sense for what these coordinators are trying to do for Alabama from a schematic standpoint is why Nick Saban hired him. It wasn't because of the name. It wasn't because of the name. And like you said, wasn't a splash hire. But like I say, a lot of names I feel like it was just a fan's wish list. Like you said, I agree on that. And a lot of it was just media hype. I agree on that. Todd Grantham, I don't know why the heck Todd Grantham. I agree with that. I don't even know why in the heck he was in the conversation for running as DC. I don't even know why that neither. I don't know why neither. So I agree with you on that. So you brought up the point about Notre Dame fans complaining about Tommy Rees all last year. Notre Dame ain't really got dang shit neither. Let's be for real. They still living off the 80s too. Yeah, they made a couple of playoff appearances, but y'all see what happened when they make the goddamn on playoff appearance. They get blowed out by anybody who play them. Even when Tommy Rees was a quarterback at Notre Dame. So, to me, it's not about because he's young. He's upcoming. It's because what he can do, what his mind is trying to implement that style of offense. Now, I will say, like you said, it's a gamble. He coming into a quarterback room, first time starters for everybody. First time starters for a whole season for everybody. So, hey, we don't know what it's going to be. I know I don't know what it's going to be. I expect it to be good. I hope it can be good. But like you said, it's a gamble. Just like when y'all going through a quarterback change this year, you expect it to be good. You hoping it to be good. You think it's going to be good. But at the same time, you don't know. You don't know what it's going to be. You don't know what it's going to be. So, then you said something about Bama fans be saying, come on, be for real. You can hire any offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. I disagree to those fans. I agree with what you're saying on it, but I disagree to those fans because you can't hire any OC and DC for Alabama just because of the talent is there. Because just like you said, if that's the case, talent is at Alabama every year. You can hire anybody to be the next OC or DC, but it's not the case because you can hire somebody that lights out at another college, but if the system doesn't fit the quarterback or fit the athletes around them, Bill O'Brien, his system, his style of offense didn't fit. He didn't make it fit with the style of offensive players he had around him. He did not make any change-ups. He did not make any adjustments. He didn't do nothing to put stress on the defense. He didn't do pre-snap motions. He didn't do jet sweeps. He didn't do none of that. He didn't utilize his tight ends. So Georgia fans might even say, oh, now y'all trying to get back to y'all want to look like Georgia now. Y'all want to look like Georgia now. And I said on CTS Sports Room that I'm not no longer going in the past anymore. I'm focusing on here, on forward. So, yes, we're trying to look like Georgia's offense now. Yes, we're trying to look like Georgia's offense now. Even though Georgia's offense does look like old Alabama's offense. But, yes, like I said, I'm going to talk about the past more. I'm talking about now. We're trying to look like Georgia's offense. Yes. That's what I feel Tommy Rees is going to do for Alabama. And I feel like Kevin Steele could bring the tough mentality, holding these players accountable for when they mess up. In-game adjustments on defense. I feel like that's what Kevin Steele can do for the defense. Like I said, wasn't a home run.